everyone, this is CY once again. Thanks for joining me. It has been almost a week since I released my previous video, and I guess it's time for me to make another video for this week. And I have been doing some tests on the SSB cast Burrs on the DF64, and I recently have been pondering about the extra fine copy powders which the SSB cast Burrs tend to give, and I would like to find out how many percent of the coffee grinded by the cast Burrs are actually fine, and how fine is that, and hence therefore I will try to use some sort of a sieve, right, to try to sieve out the coffee particles of the various sizes. And of course, as you know, right, this is one of the more famous one, right, which is the crude sieve, right. I find that the crude sieve is actually good for maybe if you want to sieve maybe quite a lot of coffee, maybe 20 grams, 30 grams, right. Sieve is good, but right now I'm not going to sieve so much for coffee, so I just like to do maybe about 5 grams to see what's the distribution like, and from the 5 gram or maybe 5 to 10 grams, depends on whether the sieve that I'm going to use is capable of sieving so much coffee. And yep, so today I'm not going to use a crude, right, and I'm going to use the sieve from 3Bomber, right. This is the sieve that I'm going to use, right. It comes nicely packaged, right. Of course, it's from 3Bomber, right. And good news is recently we have gotten the authorized dealership for 3Bomber in Singapore, so we were happy to serve the community with good quality products from 3Bomber very soon, and our stock should be arriving next week, so hopefully I can share with you more of their gadgets when they arrive. So let me share with you this thing. This thing is I purchased it together with my shark teeth grinder dedicated for filter coffee, and this actually comes with it, right. But of course this can be purchased separately, so let me show you how this looks like, right. Right, so it comes with a nice packaging box, and the box is sort of a magnetic one, so you can see that it's magnetized. And once you open, right, you can see that it comes with I think there are five sieve of different sizes, and then it comes with a shaker, something like a blind shaker, which actually works very well with the blind shaker again from 3Bomber. So I'm going to use this to reduce the static from the DF64, and at the same time use a sieve. So let me show you the sieve that I'm talking about. So yep, so this is the sieve actually, right. The top is just a cover, right, it's not magnetized, right, so you have to hold it when you use it, and the bottom is actually a magnetized attachment, so you can see it has magnets. It's strong enough that it doesn't fall, right, and it doesn't have a particular position for you to put on the magnets, right. And inside is actually the sieve, and the sieve is secured nicely. It's actually screw on, right. So as you can see, this is actually the sieve. I have been using this to sieve out coffee, to play around with the SSB cast Burrs on the DF64. On this particular one, right, it's stated, I think is 1000 micron, right. So this one is the largest particle size you can sieve, and inside there are another 5 sieve which we can use to sieve out even finer powder, right. So let me share with you the different type of sieve that's come with this packaging. So the second largest size is actually this one, right. I believe it is 800 micron, right. The sieve is pretty well made, right, and the okay, CNC and the sort of a friction grip at the side of the rim of the sieve is actually pretty well made, and it comes with 5 sizes. I believe it's 1000, 800. I think the next one should be, let me see, 600, right? Then 500. Then the last one, which is finest, right? Something like this is really very fine, right? And this smallest one is actually 400 micron. So you can see from 1000 we can actually sieve all the way to 400 micron, right? So 400 micron being the smallest, and I don't expect too much coffee powder to be stuck at this grind size, which is smaller than 400 micron. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to grind maybe 10 grams, and then we try to sieve, right? And the procedures for sieving is actually starting from the smallest to the largest. That's something that I've discovered, right? Because if I use a largest one and if I sieve out, then the workflow is not really ideal. So today is just about sieving, and I have to choose a particular grind size for the DF64 for the SSCP Casper. So maybe I will choose, usually for filter coffee, V60 style, I'll be grinding at about 65 grind setting on the DF64. So let's try to grind maybe 10 grams of coffee with the SSB CV Burrs on the DF64 right now. Right, so right now we are not going to use this, and we're going to measure about 10 grams of coffee, and to see how it goes. So I'll be using the blind shaker from 3Bomber, and let's see whether our coffee grinder is actually close to zero retention also. So let's dose about 10 grams. So of course the coffee we are using today is about 10.1 gram. So let's keep it that way. And the coffee we are using is our most popular coffee blend. Not coffee blend, this is actually single origin. It is something like a Omi roast, but I prefer this on the filtered, but it does excellent espresso as well. So if you're interested, do get in touch with us to get a bag of coffee. This is a Yunnan red wine series. And now this is 10.1 gram. So let's dose it into the DF64 with a SSB Casper, and let's grind it. So I'll be and you can see that how the blind shaker works is the moment I pull this pin out, it will release the coffee bean into the funnel, and then I can grind it directly. Right, so this is how it works. So now I can put my blind shaker directly below, and now you can see the amount of static, right? I will say it will not minimize static 100%, but it actually does a pretty good job in reducing the amount of static produced. Remember, we are grinding at 65 by right. Grinding at 65 usually tend to produce a significant chaff, and that will actually produce a tremendous amount of static. So you can see as I puff out, right, the fine coffee powder is flying. Right, so let's weigh and see how much coffee actually get grinded. Right, so that's 10 gram, and just now I input about 10.1, so that's about 0.1 grams of retention, which is pretty good for my DF64 with my improved declumper version 2. So basically my declumper version 2 is the 3D printed back spacer attached with sort of a PVC, not PVC, PET flap. So for those of you that are interested, it will look something like this. Right, so you can see this is the PET, this is the 3D printed piece. Right, and of course this is the Mythos design, and this is the PET flap, which is very, very durable, and it can last a long time, right? And it's really good for to prevent regrinding and retention. Alright, so let's get into the sieving action. So how it works is I'm going to start sieving out, and First of all, what we need to do is actually to clean out the sieve, because the sieve I have been using it, so it's a little bit coated with fine coffee powder. So just use a brush, to clean it. You can see inside is all with fine coffee powder. Right, after that it is pretty clean. So I'm going to start with the smallest one, which is actually the 400 micron. And how it works is very simple. You attach the sieve, screw it on, right, and then you use the magnetic cup or catcher, just attach to it, and then I can drop the coffee, grinded coffee bean inside, and then use cover, and then I'll start to shake. For this purpose, I will shake for about 30 seconds each time. Right, so I'll start the timer and then I'll start to shake. And why I say this is very convenient, because somehow they make it such a way that this can be put on top, and then you just have to drop all the coffee powder inside, and everything is inside there, right? So cover, and I'll start to shake. Right, for this part I'll be fast forwarding, so you will not waste time on me shaking this for 30 seconds, and subsequently I will skip all this part, so that I will just show you that I'm attaching a new sieve on top, and then the shaking will not be shown in the video itself, right? Right, that's 30 seconds. Right, so how it works is basically what I will be removing the bottom one. Right, as you can see, there are a little bit of coffee powder, right? So you can see here there's a little bit underneath, but I will say that this coffee powder is almost negligible in weight, but we'll put it on the Akaya scale and try to see whether we can actually get any coffee powder from it. Right, I'll be using a white plate so that you can actually see the coffee powder that's on top. Okay, let's zero this thing. Right, so now I'm not too sure whether you can see from far, but it is now at 0. Right, so very simple. I just have to open this and then I just put on top, right? And again, I'll choose a brush. Right, I will say that the coffee powder that is finer than 400 micron is negligible. It doesn't register any mass onto my Akaya scale, so it is less than 0.1 gram, right? So this is the amount of coffee powder that's finer than 400 micron, so it's basically insignificant, right? So I'll be moving on to use a second sieve that's slightly larger than the 400 micron, and I'll be dusting this away. So to continue to move on to the second size sieve, I have to invert this, and basically I just have to unscrew. Right, you can see that there are some coffee powder stuck on top, but this coffee powder is really very little, and it doesn't really give any weight to it. Right, so now I'll be attaching to the I think this is the 500 micron sieve, right? Let me check. Yep, it's the 500 micron. So basically, again, I will screw this back, right, close the catcher, and then again I'll start to shake. Again, I'll skip this so you will not be seeing this. Alright, so I've been shaking for 30 seconds, and this is the 500 micron. Let's see how much coffee has been passing through the between the 400 micron to the 500 micron. So the particle size that's retaining now is larger than 400 micron, but smaller than 500 micron, right? Oh, there's a little bit more. I can definitely see that the fine coffee powder is slightly more than just now. But let's try to, okay, I will try to dust it here so that I'll catch all the coffee ground that is from 400 to 500 micron. Right, let's put the dish on, zero it, and then we try to measure this, right? Okay, it's registering some mass, right? It actually measures about 0.2 gram of particle size of between 400 micron to 500 micron, so that is 0.2 gram. So later on we're going to add up all the mass of the coffee at each of the grind size, and then we add up. There's bound to be a little bit of loss because of the fine coffee powder that couldn't be registered. Right, so this is about 0.2 gram, and we're going to move on to the third one, which is actually the third size will be the, let me check this out. My eyesight is failing me, right? I believe it is a 600 micron, right? So let's remove this, and then we will screw on the third one and then repeat everything. So same thing, hold this tight, turn it over, unscrew this, knock it gently, right? Make sure there's no coffee powder retaining, and then we're going to attach the next size. Right, put back the magnetic catcher, and then again we'll start to shake. Right, again this will be done off camera, so you will get the result. I've done shaking for 30 seconds, so let's take a look. So this is the amount of fine coffee powder that's coming out between the 500 to 600 micron. So it's larger than 500 but smaller than 600 micron. So let me get the dish, zero this, and then I'm going to dust all the coffee powder out. Right, at the same time, remove all the coffee powder from the catcher. Again, it does not register any mass onto my Felicitas scale. Right, so again, maybe it is slightly lesser than 0.1. So I think, to be fair, since there's coffee powder, probably I have to get an even higher precision scale to register fine coffee that's like that, fine coffee powder that's like this. So probably I'm going to buy another scale which can maybe give me up to 0.01 gram of accuracy or precision. And yep, again, it doesn't register anything. So this is between 500 to 600 micron. So next, I'll be moving on to the next size. So again, flip it over, give it a tap. You can see how convenient this is to change the grind, the sieve size. Right, so it's clean. There's no coffee powder that's trapped on this. And now we're going to move on to the second last size. I believe this is the 800 micron. Right, same thing, cover the magnetic catch, and then again I'll be starting to shake for another 30 seconds, right? Again, this will be done off camera. I've done shaking for another 30 seconds, so let's check out the amount of coffee that's between the grind, the sieve size of between 600 to 800 micron. Right, again you can see it is not a lot, right, but definitely there's some. So let's see how much coffee actually get retained here. But before that, let's zero the plate, and then let's brush out the coffee that's probably stuck onto the sieve screen. You can see that it's actually very minimal. Right, and then we'll dump this. Okay, it's about 0.2 gram. So the particle size between 600 to 800 micron is actually weighing at about 0.2 gram. Right, so okay, so let's move on to the next one. So same thing, right, turn it over, give a puff, unscrew. Right, it's technically pretty clean. Right, so let's move on to the last one. So this is actually 1000 micron. So from this exercise, I know that I do not actually have to use the final sieve, and basically I just have to use the probably the 800 or 1000 micron to sieve out all the fine coffee powder. Right, and it'll be interesting to find out how does the fine powder actually affect the taste of the coffee. Actually, I've done a test yesterday, and the result is very, very surprising, right? Right, let's screw it on, close the catcher, shaking 30 seconds behind the camera, and this is the sieve size between 800 micron to 1000 micron. Oh no, sorry, this is not. This is actually the sieve size that is larger. Okay, whatever that's here is between 800 to 1000. So whatever retained here will be larger than 1000 micron, right? So again, you can see that the fine powder, this is no longer really fine. I can see the particle size with naked eye, but let's try to measure out. Right, so there is actually a significant amount, not really significant, it's about 0.3 grams of coffee, right? And now the sieve size they were using is 1000, hence therefore the size that's coming up from here is between the sieve, between the particle size of 800 to 1000 micron. So it is about 0.3 gram, right? So now we're going to move on to the last stage, which is to actually find out what's remaining, right? So remember just now we grinded about 10 grams of coffee, and then whatever remaining here is actually 8.5 gram, and this particle size is the size larger than 1000 micron. So let me show you the size of the coffee, right? These are pretty coarse, and this is usually the grind size I use it for my pour over for V60 style. And I'm going to keep this because I'm going to do one more round, right? But this round will be faster because this round I'm going to check whether whatever I sieve out without using all the smaller sieve size, I'm going to jump straight to the 1000, and I'm probably going to shake it for a longer time and see whether I can actually get 8.5 grams of coffee out. The 1.5 gram actually belongs to anything that is smaller than 1000 micron, right? So let's do it.